more about the cross. The Catholics have the view that the cross is a symbol that we are supposed to suffer, but actually it's the exact opposite. The cross is the entrance for our receiving comfort. Um, Jesus is the one who tasted the death. I said that, but you know, when you are walking in the Spirit and you are receiving the comfort of the Holy Spirit, and you say, I'm dead to the world, I'm dead to sin, I'm dead to the law, I'm dead to every demand, all that's left is the comfort that from the Holy Spirit, because the suffering is behind you. See, the cross is behind us. We were born crucified. We were born with the cross past tense. Jesus spoke of it future tense when he said, take up your cross and follow me, but that's because he had not gone to the cross yet. Once he went to the cross, now we're to reckon ourselves dead with him, and the cross is behind us. The suffering has already passed us by, and now it's a cleft in the rock where we are hid in him. While everything passes, he endured the pain, the shame, you say, God, how could you bring me through so many things that were embarrassing or whatever? Well, if you were embarrassed by them, it's because you weren't reckoning yourself dead. Number one, you weren't receiving the comfort that is your allotted portion. You were trying to endure it in your flesh and trying to bear up and suffer, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to receive the comfort of the Holy Spirit in resurrection. It's resurrection that puts us on the cross. It's very different than what we think, because this Bible says, if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, and that's the Spirit of life. The risen Christ is the one who puts to death our flesh by his power. And what we feel is not the pain, but the comfort. Okay? But he did endure the pain. He endured the shame. He was embarrassed publicly, humiliated publicly, beaten publicly, mocked publicly, scoffed, left to die, considered accursed. He's called all the things that were called. He said we would be called these things if we follow him. But he gives us the taste of his Spirit. But while he was on the cross, he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, or whatever, which means the Comforter, why have you forsaken me? Eli is the Comforter. It's translated in the King James, my God, and the Comforter is God. But it's specifically speaking of that comforting aspect of the Spirit that's our portion. He did not have that. He had vinegar for drink. He refused anything to soften the pain. He endured all the pain for us, and then tasted that death for us, and then gave us the finished work of that death. And now he gives us the Spirit to comfort us. So we can go through our trials, and people can accuse us of all kinds of different things and everything. And if it's of God, he brings us into resurrection through it. And what we experience is the joy of the Lord. I mean, it's amazing. We remember when the disciples counted it themselves worthy and rejoiced that they were counted worthy to suffer for his name after they were beaten in the synagogue. How did that happen? That's the comfort of the Holy Spirit. That's the filling of the Holy Spirit. That's the new wine. And hopefully we don't have to endure that. But it's no picnic out here on YouTube land. We all see what's happening, but we have such a joy and a sweetness in the fellowship while this is going on. Well, what is that? We are being crucified in one sense. We're bearing about in our body the dying of Jesus. We're losing our reputation, and people are saying all kinds of terrible things about us, right? We're hanging on the cross in open shame in their view, but inwardly we're being comforted through it by the Spirit. We have the comfort. He tasted the pain so that we could taste the comfort. So I just wanted to add that to the message that, our experience of death with Christ is not a suffering. It is our death, it's already done. It's finished. Okay? So when we experience death with Christ, it means that we're brought to an end of the suffering. if you're still suffering, it's because you're not dead yet. And we need to learn to reckon ourselves dead. And this is, again, a vision of faith we need to lay hold of. All right, take care.